Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. I'm your host with the most, the Dude 250. You know me as Nicky D, hanging out as always with my man, the video game Schwarzenegger, the Taylor Sager.
Hey guys.
There he is. Coming all the way from the UK, he is the motherfucking foundation of the DUDEPOOL Nation, Danny Appeal Brutal Nature.
Hello, boys. How's it going? You alright? That's Michael K.
All right, boy. We're doing quite good.
Holy. This is the episode of voices. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Listen to me. This is DUDEPOOL Gamescast. Come on, do it now.
That's right. Well, motherfuckers, how are we today on this day of days on our brand new set that will be ever evolving shortly?
I'm doing great.
Shortly evolving forever and ever.
Forever, ever?
Ever?
I'm delicious, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Good to know. Today we got a topic from a Danny Pelio.
Or me.
What are we talking about, amigo?
Well, I want to talk today with you gentlemen about Killzone.
The zone of death.
Killzone, yeah.
That sounds pretty heavy.
It's pretty heavy because Guerrilla Games, the creators, the designers, the developers of this franchise have stepped away. They're making something else which looks really, really cool, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Horizon.
Which I'm very much excited about. But they've stepped away from Killzone. I mean, that's a good thing. I want to say that. I know Nikolai agrees with me. That's a good thing. But where does this leave Killzone? Because I have loved Killzone since the first one came out. It came out and it was like, I hadn't played anything like that before. It felt a lot like a war. It felt like saving Private Ryan in space, right? I loved the second one. It blew my mind. I loved the third one. I didn't love Shadowfall as much. That was the name, right? Shadowfall?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was getting, because it came out and then Skyfall came out, and then some other fall came out somewhere.
And then the fall came.
The fall came, although we don't call it that.
It's all everywhere. You don't?
No, we don't call it that. We call it autumn.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
I did like Shadowfall. I played it through a second time. I enjoyed it more then, and the multiplayer was fine. But we'll get on to that in a little while because I have some thoughts about the multiplayer. But the one I didn't play, and I know you've played this, Nikolai. I think you finished it, and I know you played some of the multiplayer. Was the PS Vita one, which was what was the name of that again? Mercenaries.
So, Killzone Mercenaries.
Well, I mean, you've played all the other ones. How does that stack up, just as a game, to the other ones?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I mean, it was an awesome game for a mobile game, for a handheld game.
Right.
It was probably the best controlling shooter I've played on a handheld because the Vita's got the two sticks.
Right.
But in terms of it comparing, it doesn't, because it doesn't have the amount of memory or space on one of those Vita cartridges as it does on a fucking Blu-ray disc.
Let me put it this way. Oh, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I was just going to say that the map design and stuff is on a much smaller scale. Sure, it's even more linear than the average, and it was a lot of get to this point, like install a bomb and then hold off, and it was only like maybe 4 missions.
Wow.
Yeah, it's only like it took me like an hour and a half to beat 2 hours, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then what the big hook with that was it had multiplayer, right? But even that was a 4-person server, I think. So 2v2s and 1v1s, and it might have been 4-on-4. I can't remember.
I think that
it actually might have been 4-on-4.
4-on-4 sounds right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that was right. But it just seemed like it played fine, but it was just a smaller scale. So I don't think you could compare them.
Well, I mean, from a development standpoint,
it's like Killzone Light.
Sure. Although we can go back a little bit, just refresh. There was a PSP game, wasn't there? Liberation, which was like a top-down kind of thing.
That was the top-down twin-stick shooter, yeah.
I never played that either because I don't really.
All those are made by Guerrilla.
Yeah.
That one was, yeah.
But I think there's different. There's like Guerrilla Cambridge.
Well, Guerrilla Cambridge were the ones that made Mercenaries. All the others were just Guerrilla Games, I believe.
Oh, why? Really? What about the PSP one?
I'm pretty sure that was Guerrilla Games. I'm pretty sure. Taylor, do you want to look that up?
I thought that one...
Yeah.
That one was kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm not huge on those top-down twin sticks single-player campaigns.
I mean, what I was going to say was, from a development standpoint, do you feel like if Guerrilla Cambridge were given like a full console game to make, could they step up and deliver something? Did you see signs in Mercenaries that said, okay, these guys could probably handle it if they were given the time and the resources?
I want to say yes. Yeah, as long as they're in yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't think they built the engine that they used or whatever.
They used the Killzone 3 engine.
The only reason I say that they're more limited is based off of the hardware that they had to develop on, obviously, right? Like, if they were to do a full-fledged game, then they probably could pull something out. I don't think making a Killzone game is the hardest thing to do in terms of game development. The stories are always kind of weak. The characters are pretty bland.
Yeah, they are.
You know? They always have been. They're just pretty standard military stuff. They always, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah,
I loved the franchise. I'm not trying to knock it, but that is a fact.
I mean, we always felt you and I. We felt like they always threatened to reach that next level, right? They were so close, but they just didn't quite push on through, and that transfers to the multiplayer as well. Because I think Killzone 2 is probably my favorite because the maps were so good. When it came to Killzone 3, a lot of the maps were kind of all sort of war-torn and messy, and I don't want that in every map.
Yeah. And in Shadowfall, especially, all the matches just kind of devolved into one team being way better than the other and just holding them in their spawn points, pinning them down.
You can barely find a match on that now, which is really
fucking lame.
Really a shame. But there's so much potential there. I feel like they'd be better off with the multiplayer in particular. They'd be much better off going like a Battlefield route, but having that futuristic aesthetic and all that stuff. But bringing because they had the mechs, and the mechs were really cool, and they had jetpacks and stuff, and they were good fun. They could bring all this stuff into the multiplayer, expand it, and make it more players. I mean, if you have to scale the visuals back a little bit for it, do it. Just do it, but do something, because that franchise, I think it deserves more than it's had.
Sure, but I also, I think it's dead.
I think it's dead too, which is why I wanted to talk about it.
I think Killzone 3's sales didn't meet the mark that they really wanted it to.
Killzone 3 or Shadowfall?
Shadowfall, Killzone 3.
Okay.
I don't think it hit the numbers they wanted it to. It's never competed with the likes of Halo and Call of Duties. It's never been that high, which is what they wanted. That on the PS3 especially, they really pushed that franchise for almost a decade. Tried to make it like the PlayStation shooter,
which didn't happen
on a scale that Halo and Call of Duty was, and it didn't happen. And I think that's the big sign of the times is Sony throwing a bunch of money at Activision and getting Call of Duty, all the DLCs first, and now Call of Duty is a PlayStation name or whatever is what they're saying, because they get all the timed exclusivity bullshit, and they're going that route with it now until the Horizons come out. And now I don't know that they're even focused on a first-person shooter market right now, because they have the Call of Duty, they got Destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
They put a lot of money into putting these two giant franchises in line with the PlayStation brand. Even though it's available on the other consoles, like when Destiny was a big thing, people thought PlayStation.
And they released that bundle.
And they released the bundle.
And they have a bundle for Call of Duty as well.
Exactly. I think that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And then they're letting their other developers bake their ideas, like Horizon and shit like that.
Which is a good thing.
They had to let... absolutely. They had to let the people that were making Killzone, Guerrilla, they had to let them stretch their legs on something else. Because they've been making Killzone games for way too long. And when you do that, when they're being forced to make games that they don't necessarily have any more passion for, they clearly didn't look like they had too much more passion when they were talking about the new Killzone Shadowfall and stuff like that.
Right.
As opposed to to seeing them get excited over Horizon. that's a good sign, man. That's when good art is made, when they're actually excited to do it and not being forced to do it based off of contractual obligations.
Right.
That's when good shit happens.
I mean,
so they may come back. They could always come back to it after Horizon or something like that. But I think they have to want it. They have to want to make another Killzone. Otherwise, it's just gonna fall to the wayside.
Well,
right?
The point was,
if you want that dope ass Killzone that we think it deserves, they gotta want to make it.
They gotta want to make it, which is kind of the point.
Yeah, and I don't know if handing it off to another developer to cut their teeth as a developer is the best way to lift that franchise.
You think it's too big a franchise almost to give it to like a developer to try and?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, it's a tall order because they'll have to knock that out of the fucking park to get over Shadowfall.
I don't know. Some developers will rise to that challenge. You know, we see it.
I'm sure they will, but yeah,
you have to find them.
I'm sure they.
And you don't know.
Could.
Do you know who they don't know who the new developer is? Who's making one?
There's no Killzone.
There is no new one yet. That's not why I'm talking about it. I really wanted to talk about it because of what Nikolai said. I mean, it looks like it's dead, which hurts me a little bit because I love that franchise. And it's always been, for me, it's always been good. I'd almost say it's always been very good, but it's never quite been great.
It's almost there, yeah.
It's so close, and I just feel like if they could just give it everything they've got and put in a great story and expand that multiplayer in a little bit more Battlefield style, I really feel like it would shine, and I fear that it's not going to get that chance.
I still think they need to tighten controls up.
They could, they did a bit for Shadowfall, but you kind of lose what Killzone had become with its identity a little bit if you do that. I mean, Killzone 2 was very much, if you remember rightly, they had put in when it first came out, it was really. It wasn't a latency thing. It was like heavy. Actual lag. It was like the heaviness, like you'd press it and it would do it a moment later. So they put in high precision. Remember that? They actually patched in high precision, so you could have it a little bit more responsive.
I remember joking about that, calling it high precision, because that is exactly what it is. It's a fucking input lag that they intentionally put into the game to make things feel like they were heavy.
Yeah.
Right? But when you play, like you played Evolve, and there was a lot less of a lag on that one, and you're like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
All right, what's the difference there?
Maybe I was just more educated by the time I played Evolve, and I knew what was. No, that's not even a joke. It's like I knew what it was by then. You know, I was like, this isn't right. This is on PS4, and this shouldn't be happening. I don't remember playing Killzone 2 and feeling like, oh, this feels wrong.
I do. I do.
You remember that?
100%. I remember. Oh fuck! My first run through on Killzone 2, I was like, "What the fuck? This is dumb."
Maybe I was so caught up in the visuals and the aesthetic. I looked past it and got used to it, and then High Precision came out, and it did fix it.
Yeah, High Precision improved it a lot, because I remember joking, and I was like, they called it High Precision, but it's not. It's normal precision.
It's normal.
It's just precise. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful game. Killzone 3 was a step as well.
Gorgeous game.
They still look beautiful now. Like, you could probably play them on PS3 now. They still look great.
I can.
Yeah, I can't. Actually, I probably could. I actually can play them now. I have them.
Yep.
Digital.
What would you guys think of a new Killzone going like a faster, more arcadey route, kind of like Doom?
Because then it's not Killzone.
Nah, build a new franchise at that point.
Yeah.
Either improve upon, but don't change the format of Killzone too much, or just build a new franchise. I don't know.
It doesn't have to be as.
I think
heavy.
at this point it's going to be dead.
It could you can still move.
The third one wasn't nearly as heavy.
Yeah, except the third one I thought played absolutely fine. I had no problems with that whatsoever. We had some
as
great
did
fun.
I was talking primarily of Killzone 2 when I was talking about that
heavy.
heaviness.
Yeah, it was heavy. It was too heavy back then. Yeah, but 3 was great. I really enjoyed playing 3 with you.
We called Killzone too heavy.
Oh god. Slow clap. You, sir.
It doesn't deserve a slow clap. It doesn't.
It's a real fast one and a standing ovation, motherfucker.
We'll give you a fast one a little later.
Yeah, it's over quick.
Oh god. I mean, it took a while to turn gay this time, so I'm impressed with that.
Yeah. Shit didn't
almost all the way. I couldn't quite let us get out of here without.
It had to be gay, but Yeah, Killzone. I mean, I fear that you're right, and it's dead, and I don't think we'll see it again. And if we do, it might.
Yeah.
I just don't think it pushed the numbers they wanted it to after a decade. So that's like, okay, new stuff. Like Resistance is dead now too.
Yeah, that's dead.
I think
the PlayStation shooters of last generation just didn't take hold like they wanted them to.
Dude, I mean, even Halo 5, I don't feel like is selling that well. Like, is that really moving consoles?
Yeah, I'm sure it did move some units. Halo is still a huge thing for all the really, really hardcore Xbox guys and shit, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but there's also been a lot of complaints, and Halo is now being done by 343 Studios, and ever since that change happened, even hardcore Halo guys were like, nah.
Right.
You know? That's the problem. Like, that's why I'm afraid to see Killzone just go to another developer. Is a lot of times it just loses its magic, and they just don't
get it.
Really get. They don't get it by like the people that like had the idea and the vision.
Yep.
Did you know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like Halo's a great example. It's just not the same anymore. Yeah. Right? It's going to be interesting to see what Gears of War is like now. Cliffy B's not on it.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the last ones were okay. Like the spin-offs or whatever. I don't think it was a numbered one. It was like Gears of War something.
Judgment?
I don't know. Something like that.
Can you think of any examples of a game where they switched developers and it got better?
I mean...
Mafia 3?
Yeah, but it's not out yet. We don't know if it's better.
Yeah,
I mean, I personally really enjoyed Mafia 2.
It looks better than it's a joke.
The obvious example would be something like the NHL or the FIFA or that series. I mean, they're the same companies, but they're different people.
Different people.
Because they've been going for so long,
or
right?
Like UFC, I guess, would be a more apt.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say when THQ died, WWE went over to 2K, and I think they're better now than they used to be at the end of THQ's life cycle.
Yeah, at the end of their life cycle. The early two THQ ones were way more fun, though, in my opinion.
I would agree because they were more arcadey.
Yeah.
I would love to see them go back to a more arcadey style.
Wrestling should be. Just go back to those early SmackDown games. But anyway, you're right. Sorry.
Yep.
A little off topic there.
That's good.
Killzone.
Off topics.
Killzone looks like it's dead.
I think it's going to die. I think if Guerrilla went back to make a first-person shooter, I don't think that the name Killzone is going to like boost sales or anything. No. I think if they were to make a completely new IP and do whatever the fuck they wanted with it, they would actually get more sales than being like, 3 years, like 4 years removed. Here's another Killzone game. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think they're gonna pull anybody into buying their game with the name Killzone. So I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna keep trying to make them.
And I mean, when I think about PlayStation and its entire life, I don't think first-person shooters. I just don't. I think a lot of third-person games, a lot of RPGs.
Platformers.
Yeah, I just do. And I think, Uncharted. I think God of War.
Yeah.
You know, all Final JRPGs from PS1.
Yeah,
the Final Fantasies.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, and so like I've never thought of. They only did that first-person shooting push last generation, so. And it didn't take off. I think PlayStation for me is synonymous with almost everything else.
Yeah.
But Xbox to me is like Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Halo and Forza.
Mm-hmm.
And Gears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point. Oh, my point was I think Horizon, the third-person action game, that's going to be a fucking major blockbuster for Sony, and I think that's going to be one of their spearhead titles.
It's looking like really something special.
One of the main, because
you can tell they're excited about it.
Yeah, dude, and like the aesthetics look so fucking cool. They mix with the old and the new.
Yeah, the caveman thing seems to be hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited for Horizon more than I was ever excited for any of the Killzones, honestly. Like,
I might even say that too, to be honest with you. No, the fever pitch for Killzone 2 was huge for me.
Yeah.
Now that oh fuck yeah, dude, that reveal trailer that they did, which never actually panned out. You remember that one, Danny?
Yeah, but the final game,
they're like, this is real time gameplay.
Oh yeah.
I thought they over-delivered on visuals, man. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It didn't look as good as that first one.
If you go back and watch that very first one, and then watch actual
There's
gameplay,
no jaggies. The's no jaggies.
Well, fine, the jaggies. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what they said. That was like they lied.
Yeah, they did lie.
There's zero anti-aliasing or zero jaggies at all in that fucking in that demo. I'm not saying the game looked bad. The game looked fucking great. But the smoke that they showed in that trailer still, holy fuck! I haven't seen smoke like that in video games still to this date. And it's just sorry. The flat cannons going off in the air in that trailer looked fucking insane.
Right.
And that's what they were like, this is in-game, and this is what PlayStation 3 is going to be. This is before PS3 even fucking came out. Yeah. They were showing that.
I honestly think
I was like, oh my god, next gen, and I want this now! And then we got it, and I was like, okay, this looks great, but it's not that trailer. And then everybody yelled at Gorilla for that. Yeah, but you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Like, it doesn't. There is screen tearing in the game, a little bit. There's jaggies. That's not present in the trailer at all.
Go back and watch it, and then look at some gameplay.
I will. Okay. I have many times.
What, in the last how many years?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I played it. Yeah, I played Killzone 2 maybe 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time you watched that trailer, though?
I don't care, man. It was a trailer. I'll watch it right now and tell you that there's zero jaggies and no screen tearing whatsoever. There's no slowdown. Yes, that is the point, because it's not made in the engine, so therefore that trailer runs better than that game.
Oh, it runs better?
No?
I don't think it...
Well, whatever. We'll agree to disagree, my friend. I don't want to sit here and argue with it all day. Oh, we're not going to agree to disagree?
We'll agree to disagree.
All right. Danny's biased aside.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah, I went there. You didn't even notice the controls on Killzone 2. You just said you might have been overjoyed with the visuals.
The visuals, because they fucking were mind-blowing. Because they overdid it. They over-delivered on the visuals because it was such a big deal about that trailer. Because they did lie. They over-delivered on visuals.
I would agree with that, but it still doesn't look as good as that trailer.
I think it does.
Okay. All right, whatever.
I want to see this trailer now.
Yep, we will definitely go over this after, that's for sure. Anyway, that's our topic for the show. Killzone. It's probably dead.
It's in the kill zone.
That sucks. Yeah, it's in the kill zone. It's in the zone that's been killed.
I'm honestly not too sad about it. I think that they are going to be doing better doing different things. I think it's been 10 years of Killzone that those guys have been working on it. Like, give them a break. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
But
change is good. New IPs are awesome. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think that excites me a hell of a lot more when I see new creative stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's always sad to see a game that I loved not continue to be made, but I think it would have just been continuously getting worse, and it would have tarnished my memory of Killzone 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're doing something different, and that Sony's not making them or forcing them to make more Killzone games. Yeah.
Cool.
That's where I stand on it.
Righteous. Any closing words there, Danny Peel?
Oh, I'll miss it, but I'm sure something else will come along and fill that void.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully a new Unreal Tournament.
Ooh, Doom or Unreal Tournament. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, that's our topic for the day. If you like the show, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/official DudePool Gaming and on Twitter at DudePool Gaming. From us to you, we love you, and we'll catch you next time here on the DudePool Gamescast.
See you guys.